did they reach the right result? I assume so. I didn't follow that trial very much. I think there'll be an interesting question as to whether the president commutes his son's sentence, so we'll see.
Which is, yeah. So, also the gentleman next to you referred to under questioning, he said this trial and jury was scrupulously fair. It was outstanding. There was nothing unusual. Care to comment on that?
Well, again, I mean,
you could start with nothing
I'm not
unusual.
blaming the jury here. I think the poison came from the behavior of the prosecutors hiding the ball, and then Judge Mershon giving sort of a cafeteria-style approach where non-unanimity was allowed on the underlying means by which the New York election law was violated. I think those are clear due process violations. So it's not the jury's fault. They just had, junk to work with, so to speak. I was going to use another word, but I probably shouldn't.
It's almost enough to shock the conscience, huh?
It's almost enough. Yeah, it shocks mine. I don't know about yours, but.
I believe it's correct, and I can be corrected on this if I'm wrong, but I believe the judge contributed to President Biden, the judge in this case. Is that common for a case that has a real nexus that the judge would contribute and then not recuse?
I've never seen a case like that. I mean, usually a lawyer feels pretty confident if he finds out that the judge has overtly, expressed preference for one party or another, and political contributions to the Biden administration would seem to fit that bill, given the political overtones of this case, right? This was not an ordinary state prosecution. This was a state prosecution that, if successful, even though it had been turned down at every other level to even proceed as a prosecution, if it proved successful, it would basically interfere with the 2024 presidential election. And possibly that interference could not be remedied, could not be rectified until after the election. So it's slam dunk 2024 election interference.
It's almost reminiscent of Jack Smith and Governor McDonnell in Virginia, isn't it?
Right, and he got his handed to him by the Supreme Court on that one.
I want to get a question into Attorney General Bailey here. Talk about the overall chilling effect in regards to this. In fact, I believe it was Governor Hochul, after this charge happened, went on media in New York and said, hey, don't worry, this isn't going, we're not coming after the rest of you business people. This is just Donald Trump. Talk about the impact of something like this for the long run in the rule of law.
The Constitution is our national identity. Those rights codified therein come from God, not man, and the document is intended to protect us from the government. And yet what we see time and time again is the government being weaponized against individuals. It's President Trump today. Who will it be tomorrow? And that's the problem. I think that when you look at the due process issues contained in the charging document, ultimately in the jury instructions, and you look at the inchoate nature of the offenses with these ill-defined levels of attenuation, it's as if invisible links of chain are necessary to connect the facts to criminal liability. And it causes the jury to turn into a roving commission, free to pursue whatever facts they want to attach liability as they please. And the issue there is it undermines the rule of law for the rest of us. Who can have confidence that we know what is and isn't illegal behavior when the court and the prosecutor impanel a roving commission to attack a political opponent?